Spider-Man was fighting a supervillain who was attempting to rob a bank. Instead of attacking, he was dodging the villain's assaults while focused on a call with his wife, Mary Jane. She was listing groceries for him to buy, unaware of the high-stakes battle. Mary Jane then asked Peter to come home immediately, inquiring, "Is it a bad time?" Peter replied, "I'm fighting the Scorpion, but it's no big deal." After the call, Spider-Man stopped holding back and effortlessly defeated the villain. He wrapped the Scorpion's entire body in spider web and handed him over to the police. After that, he jumped into the sky and started web-slinging throughout the city. He reached his apartment in no time and entered through the window, where he found his wife waiting for him. "How long has our daughter been asleep?" he asked. Mary Jane replied, "After helping her finish her history project, she took a bath, had a snack, and then fell asleep after I read her a book. She's been asleep for an hour now." Peter switched off the light and said jokingly, "If she's not sleeping, I'll strangle her myself." They started kissing, about to have a romantic moment together, until they were interrupted by noise coming from their daughter's room. Immediately they stopped and rushed to her room. Upon arrival, they found her trapped in the middle of a spider web. Peter grabbed a spray and started spraying the webs to free his daughter. "Anna May Parker," he said, "what have we told you about playing with your dad's gadgets unsupervised?" She replied, tears welling up, "I wasn't playing with them, Dad. I was trying to make them work better." "Don't be mad." Peter's expression softened as he melted the webs, freeing Anna and her pet. They sat down together, and Peter began, "You know, I was just like you when I was young." Anna's eyes sparkled with curiosity. "Really, Mom? Were you like me?" Mary Jane smiled wryly. "Let's just say we're not entirely innocent ourselves." Peter chuckled. Anna asked, hopeful, "So you're not mad?" Mary Jane and Peter exchanged a glance. "Well," Peter said, "we wouldn't go that far," Mary Jane added with a gentle laugh. The next morning, Mary Jane and her daughter sat around the table, waiting for Peter to finish frying pancakes. Annie asked her mother about her history project. Her mother replied, "It's in your school bag." As Peter flipped pancakes, he accidentally tossed them across the room. His daughter reacted swiftly, jumping onto the table, grabbing a plate, and performing a backflip to catch the pancakes. She landed gracefully, doing a one-handed handstand while holding the plate with the other. Peter scolded her, "No using your spider powers unless Mom or I tell you to." Mary Jane added, "Especially not at school." Anna asked, "What if I have to use them in an emergency?" Peter smiled, revealing an earpiece device he had made for her. "That's why I created this," he said, "so Mom and I can stay in touch with you all the time." After finishing breakfast with his family, Spider-Man left the apartment rushing to go to work. Meanwhile, Mary Jane donned her spider suit and took her daughter to school via web slinging, holding her securely by one arm. "Mom, we're going to be late. Can't you hurry? We're barely moving," Annie exclaimed. Mary Jane replied, "So, it's my fault you weren't ready to leave after breakfast?" With a smile, she tossed Annie into the air and swiftly swung through the spider webs, catching her daughter on her back and accelerating their pace. After dropping Annie off near her school, Mary Jane continued web-slinging through the city. She spotted 2 police cars chasing 2 men on a motorcycle. The men began shooting at the police, causing chaos, and managed to escape momentarily. However, Mary Jane swiftly intervened, jumping onto the bike and delivering a swift kick to the men's heads, smashing their helmets and sending them flying across the road. The motorcycle careened over the bridge, while the 2 men lay unconscious on the ground, knocked out by Mary Jane's swift action. Civilians and police arrived at the scene. Some people attempted to take pictures of Mary Jane, but she refused, saying, "No pictures, please." She then jumped over the bridge and landed on top of a moving car. Afterward, Mary Jane arrived at her workplace and began her shift. During break time, while sipping coffee, the TV news caught her attention. Spider-Man trapped in Midtown's sinkhole. She immediately decided to leave and headed to the rooftop, carrying a bag. The bag contained her spider suit designed by Spider-Man. This suit allowed Peter to share his powers with Mary Jane. As soon as she put it on, she tapped into the spider powers. With her newfound abilities, Mary Jane jumped off the building and started web-slinging, rushing to help Spider-Man.